upon the time there was a little engine called Edward. He lived in a bit shed with all the other engines who were all bigger than him. "Good morning," said Edward. "Do you think I may get let out to pull the first train of the day for once? It would be nice, for a change once in a while." Henry, who was made using stolen plans for a train that the controller of the railway was tricked into buying, said, "Well, you see, little Edward, you're much too old to pull any trains, but it would be funny to see you try." After Henry said that, Edward went back into his shed. A few minutes later, Edward driver came over to this. He had just finished drinking his coffee and said, "Good news. Old boy, one of the trains of the mail line got the wrong coal by mistake, and we will be that one taking the train. How does that sound?" Edward was shocked about this. He said, "I would love to, sir, thank you." "All right, don't worry, Thomas, already done the coaches, so we should be fine. We just need to get you steamed up." A few minutes later, Edward went to the yard. To get his coaches, he made sure not to bump them so that they won't try to break anything during the trip. Edward stopped at the main station and said, "Get on, please. We will begin our trip very soon." Edward let everyone get off the train and began to take a break in the station before he would need to do his return trip back. Gordon, the biggest engine, passed Edward with a good trains, always leading him, so he didn't say a word to Edward. A few minutes later, his driver went up to Edward and said, "Well, it appears Gordon got stuck up the hill. Or that is what his driver is telling me. Is okay if we help him after a while?" Edward said, "Sure, it fine, I don't mind as all." So Edward switched tracks and began to go toward where the hill was to go help Gordon. so what the big idea? Gordon Edward told him you mange coaches up here fine what the not the same you know what I don't care let me just get you up this hill. Well, you're welcome for the help, Gordon. Just don't never do that again. You know us engines can't do anything. Trust me, I'm older. And seen it happen, said Edward. Oh, it fine, Edward. Thank for the help. I make sure not to be mean to you that much. It seem like you know your stuff about this railway. Anyway, I got to go. See you soon. Just don't make sure those trucks cause any crashes. Got it, said Edward. Once upon a time Henry was pulling a train while it was raining. He always hated the rain. He just wished he could get away from it. While Henry left the station, he started to think of ideas of how he could stop his paint from getting wet. When Henry stopped at the station, he came up with the idea they were going to pass the main tunnel anytime soon. If he was able to put his brake on, he might be able to stay in the tunnel before the rain passes. "Henry, why have we stopped in the tunnel? Your paint is going to be fine," said the driver. "Are you sure about that? You know I'm trying in here until the rain passes, since I'm not getting my paint wet. Got it?" While Thomas was shunting, the driver came up to him and said, "Well, it appears Henry is being a lazy train and stopped in the tunnel. We may need to push him out. Is that okay with you, Thomas?" "It's fine by me. I hate shunting trucks anyway. Maybe if I do this I will get my own line. That would be nice." "All right, let go, Thomas." A few minutes later, Thomas showed up at the tunnel and laughed and said, "Wow, you really scared your paint going to get wet. Wow, anyway, I'm just here to push you out and that should be easy." "It no used he not moving one bit," said Thomas. He was really cross about this. "You know, Thomas, I got a idea. Go get us some trucks full of bricks if Henry want to stay in the tunnel when he will." "Here you go, sir, all the bricks you wanted. This is going to be so funny." "So what are you doing with those bricks?" said Henry. "You said you wanted to stay in the tunnel, so you will. For how long you need to," said the driver. "Is this a bloody joke? I didn't mean I was staying here forever, just for a few minutes. This not inest fair, you hear me?" Gordon is an express engine, and he is pulling the express right now. "Here we go, everyone," said Gordon as he began to leave the station. Lever, but it was acutely because he burst his safety valve. "What is going on?" said Gordon. "Why have I stopped?" Well, you broke your safely value, Gordon. We need to wait for our other engine to come to pull the express. Edward was sleeping in the shed until his driver came up to him and said, "Edward, Gordon broke his safely value. We need to pull the train for him." "Fine, let me just get ready. You know I'm tired of this anyway." Edward began to pull the train. He wasn't able to because it was too heavy, so his driver came up with the idea to get Henry to help them. Henry said yes without a second thought. He was happy to help and get out of the tunnel. "You ready?" Edward said. "Henry, am ready," said Edward, as they began to pull the train while Gordon was still asleep.